HVAC expansion valve orifice tube. All air conditioning systems work by a very simple principle. A special refrigerant gas, which in the past was called DuPont Freon, has the ability of changing from a liquid to a gas, and gets very cold in the process. Ammonia gas has been used in the past, and is still used in large commercial systems, but it's also explosive and not fit for automotive use. Today, R134A, HFO1234F and possibly CO2 are or will be in use for automotive purposes. R134 has completely replaced R12, with HFO1234F being implemented in newer models. As said, these gases get very cold when they change state, or when they go from a liquid to a gas, and here's where the expansion valve or orifice tube come into play. First, the expansion valve. This valve has the sole purpose of restricting the flow of refrigerant liquid, and create an atomizing effect at its outlet. The process is similar to a water hose nozzle, where a water mist is created at the nozzle outlet. The expansion valve is also a nozzle, but with a temperature feedback loop. The expansion valve has a diaphragm, capillary or thin tubing, and a bulb at the end. The whole circuit is filled with a sensing gas, often similar to the refrigerant gas. The sensing bulb is also placed at the evaporator or cold gas outlet, which regulates the diaphragm as temperature changes. The diaphragm in turn is connected to the valve's pintle needle rod, that lets more or less refrigerant to pass through. Some expansion valves don't have the thin tubing and bulb. These also have a feedback circuit, but it's right at the valve outlet, through a small passage inside the valve. The end result is the same, which is to sense the outlet refrigerant temperature to control the expansion valve needle. Then, the orifice tube. The orifice tube is used instead of an expansion valve. The orifice tube serves the same purpose, which is to create a restriction in the system to atomize the liquid to a gas. In this case, the refrigerant leaves the compressor high side to the evaporator. There, it turns into a compressed liquid, and goes to the orifice tube mounted right at the high-pressure tubing. The other side of the orifice tube, which is full of cold refrigerant gas, goes to the evaporator. As cold refrigerant in the evaporator get filled up, fresh cabin air flows through the outside of the evaporator, and this air gets cooled down. The leftover warmer refrigerant exiting the evaporator, leaves the evaporator and goes into the compressor inlet to get pumped again. The orifice tube is just a simple nozzle, that atomizes the refrigerant gas to get it to change state or from liquid to gas and get cold in the process. These two components are of course, metered to the type of gas and vehicle capacity. In case of the orifice tube, various colors are used to identify them for different models. The main indicator of what's going on with either the expansion valve or orifice tube are the high and low pressure readings. These you get by using the standard HVAC pressure gauges.